welcome back. Investigators for the U.S. Department of Education found a Georgia school district may have created a, quote, hostile environment for its students. The department's findings come after the Forsyth County School District pulled several books from its library that contained Black or LGBTQ plus characters. The Georgia district now needs to supply students impacted by the book removals with, quote, supportive measures. Now, the district also needs to administer a climate survey to both middle and high schools to see if any other steps need to be taken. So here to discuss the significance of this decision is Nicole Carr, a reporter for ProPublica. She focuses on racial inequity, and you're currently working on a series about how school board meetings are shifting. And if anybody has seen videos of recent school board meetings, they have been a little rowdy, a little, depending on what the topic is, right?
Right, a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, they have been.
I'm so glad that you're here to talk about this because book bans, they are nothing new, right? But we're hearing a lot more about them, particularly in Florida, right? Most recently, Amanda Gorman, her inauguration poem was banned in Florida, not here in Georgia, but why are we seeing such vitriol now, would you say?
Well, I think we're seeing the outcome of things that started really primarily in early 2021 and the end of 2021. This case in Forsyth County primarily involves two women who make up a small group called the Mama Bears, right? And so the Mama Bears had been going to the school board meetings in those years and last year, reading sexually explicit content from books and saying, these are in the library, we need them out. The board says, look, our rules are no profanity, you need to stop. They didn't stop. One of the mothers was banned from there. And so these parents have latched on to the free speech argument. Right. And so that's what started the federal lawsuits. And there was a victory in that. The Fed said, you can't ban her, you can't have these rules, and you can't determine what's vulgar, what's profane, what's that. She's got to be let in, you have to let her talk, and you're going to pay over $100,000 in legal fees, right? But at the same time, they were trying to pull it was censorship in the spirit of censorship, right? So they're filing these complaints and trying to get these books pulled at the same time. The Department of Ed, what they are saying is they're actually not criticizing the process that the district went through to review the books.
Okay.
That process is not new for anyone, right? These mechanisms have been in place for years and years. You can go challenge material in a school district. And so they went through the proper review stages. What wasn't really reported is like most of those books ended up back on the shelves. But that wasn't what made the viral moment. That wasn't what made the news. Those moments continued. The environment is arguably hostile in the district, and the district has not properly communicated, according to the Department of Ed, what actually happened. Last round of book challenges, 7 of the 8 books challenged were back on the shelves. That didn't make news.
Right.
But the climate has now changed. And that's what we're dealing with in this moment. And that's what needs to be addressed so people know, yeah, there is a standard. There's always been a standard, and there's a process for that. We followed that, but we didn't communicate that was the outcome. And so this continues and continues and continues, and you're thinking there's a huge problem with these horrible books on the library, and that's it's without context. It's without context.
And so you mentioned these Mama Bears, and we're just about out of time, but it's 2 people and creating kind of this hubbub ultimately, right? Just because of the bigger picture when you look back on it. Really briefly, just talk about the slippery slope that we kind of find ourselves in when it comes to one parent then saying, I don't like this, or 2 parents saying, I don't like that.
Sure, and that's the point the Ed Department is making, and ultimately that districts make, that we have to serve all students, and that this means a different thing than you saying you don't believe in something and you want it pulled for all students. There's a difference in that, and most districts have a way that you can opt out of things, that you can pull your child away from that. You can find releases from a field trip to a book, and these are not books that are required for reading. In one case in that Ed Department complaint, another complaint had been filed about a book that had already been pulled, and there was 1 copy of it in the district. And that's the context that we're missing from all of this. So yeah, there can be an outsized impact by a small, organized, often well-funded or well-backed group. making a valid argument about speech, perhaps not as much about content.
Right.
And so, yeah, this has real implications.
It's prickly.
It's a prickly thing, and the context and the details matter.
Always. All right, Nicole, thank you again, reporter for ProPublica. We really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us today. All right, coming up, new developments about long COVID, what researchers now say about the mysterious condition. We'll have that story coming up.